Hey loves, welcome. We're here to share loving vibrations and to encourage oneness. We shall deeply discuss about frequency, quantum physics, loving vibrations, energy, law of attraction. We hope you will share the love and spread it too.
When circumstances and situations are pressing in upon us, the only way we can overcome them is to go within, to actually begin to ask very empowering questions with the awareness that this universal presence and its law will answer any question that you ask. So if you're in a situation that is pressing on you and you ask, what's trying to emerge in my life? What is my gift to share? What is my purpose? Why am I here on the planet? Not just how can I pay my rent, not just how can I stop the pain. You ask empowering questions, the universe will answer these questions in a language and in a way that you can understand. There'll be inner prompting, there'll be intuitive hits, nudges, signs, symbols, dreams. It'll come in the language of the individual soul and heart. The difficulty is that when people are in tough situations, they ask disempowering questions. Say, what's wrong? Who's to blame? Those are the disempowering questions. So the universe will answer those too. It'll pull on the database of human experience and say, you were born on the wrong side of the tracks, or you were born on the right side of the tracks, or this happened or that happened. It'll give you a bevy of excuses. But if you ask an empowering question, you'll get an answer to rise above the muck. So it's all about the question, the sincerity of the question, and then the ability and the willingness to really listen, to really be available. That's where the juice is. Whether an individual is in prison, whether an individual is imprisoned by circumstance, imprisoned in their own mind about an event that happened in their past, it doesn't matter. Once you ask with sincerity, the universe will answer. That's the way it operates. You can only be in communion with something that you're similar to. Water and gasoline can't commune because they're different substances. So we can commune with God because our life is the essence of God. So we can commune with God. So if I'm communing with God and you're communing with God, we can commune with each other. We commune with the deepest part of each other. It's a very intimate and personal relationship in prayer and in meditation. So the essence of communion is oneness. And so as we go forth from that place in a deep sense of communion, then when we go out into the world, we have the privilege and the capacity to see that same beauty in other individuals, the same love, the same potential. We greet each other differently. That is the only way that we're going to actually build a kind and just global society, from that sense of communion with the presence that's never an absence. It goes back to asking the question. Yeah. But it also goes back to understanding that the presence of God has never made a mistake, doesn't do do-overs, and doesn't repeat itself. Therefore, each of us are unique expressions of the infinite. Therefore, the way the infinite gets to express its infinite nature is through its uniqueness. Therefore, I have a mandate to discover myself, find out who and what I am, what my purpose is, and to express it. So, and that idea within us is infinite and is always unfolding. So it's not a one and done. It's not, I've arrived. It's, I'm always on a journey of unfolding. What's trying to emerge? What's trying to unfold? And you'll start to get hints. You start to take baby steps walking in that direction. And as you take baby steps, inertia becomes momentum. And then possibilities start to reveal themselves. Potential starts to be activated. And you find yourself, as you look back, wow, I'm changed. I'm different. Yeah. When did that happen? You have to be in alignment with it. You have to have a level of practice. You have to give up your resistance to the circumstance. In other words, you're not arguing and resisting with the circumstance. God is always answering.
Yes.
But are we receiving? Are we listening? Are we available?
Yes.
So prayer, meditation, life visioning, it attunes us to become in alignment with that vibration. So we actually can hear it, we can actually feel it, and then move in that direction. Many people, if their prayers would be answered, they couldn't even receive it. They're not vibrationally ready. You know how people do wishing wells? They throw a coin in, they forget about it, and then the thing shows up because they had an intention, then they let it go. They didn't even think about it anymore.
Right.
And once you release your grasp, then you give up your resistance. Message to the universe at that moment is, I want it, I want it, I want it, I want it, which is translating into, I don't have it, I don't have it, I don't have it, I don't have it. So you can't receive it. Victim consciousness is where many people live.
Yeah.
Somebody did it to me. The reason why I'm not happy is because he just make, my ex-boyfriend, my boss, the world isn't fair. They're doing it to me. The reason why I'm not happy is somebody else's fault. God did it to me. The devil did it to me. My astrological sign did it to me. The numbers did. Karma.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the victim stage. Every victim has a victim story. You ask somebody, a victim, what's going on, and they'll give you a list of complaints about what's wrong and who did it. Fannie Lou Hamer once said, I got sick and tired of being sick and tired. So when you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, something happens, and you start to open up to a possibility that maybe I made my own way. Maybe there's something more than what meets the eye. You're gonna need something that is not within your little mind and your little perception. And that's where prayer comes in. That's where meditation comes in. That's where life visioning comes in. So if you just said, help, I'm open, I'm available to something new. Now you're on your way.
Yeah.
And then things start to come to you. I can remember walking into, back in the day when the Bodhi tree existed, and a book fell off the shelf. I walked in and the book just slammed on the floor off the shelf. And it was exactly what I needed to read at that time. And so I learned about manifestation. I learned about the second stage, which is how to manifest, which is establishing intention, beginning to see visually the kind of life you want to live, beginning to have conversation about that kind of life. I tell people you have to talk about it more than you talk about your problems, because at the end of the day, if you're complaining more than you're talking about your vision, then you're in inertia. So there's a shift that takes place where you're actually talking about the possibilities more than you're talking about your issues.
Yeah.
You don't deny the issues. Bad things have happened to people. You're not denying that those things have happened. Energy goes into those lower frequencies.
Yep.
Doubt, worry, fear, now you're in that sediment. You're in that dynamic. But if you start talking about possibility, even if you don't know how to get there, then your energy starts to go up. What if you ask a what if question? What if all my needs were met? What would I be doing in my life? What if everything is really working together for my good? What if all the bad things that have happened in my life are leading me to activating some great potential in my experience? What if God really is on my side?
Yeah.
You ask a what if question, and you start to notice little tiny miracles happening in your life. Things start to manifest. You don't know how they got there. It's when you're losing your identification with your previous identity, but you don't yet have an identification with what's new emerging. You're in the dark. You don't know. You knew this is who you used to be, but you're not that anymore. But who you're becoming, you're not that either. So it's dark. It's really, and sometimes it's excruciating. Sometimes it's a lot of fear, a lot of disconnect. And I tell people that when you're going through that, tell them to ask this question. If this experience were to last forever, what quality would have to emerge for me to have peace of mind? So if you ask that question, and you say, oh, if this particular experience was going to last forever, I would need some strength. I would need some peace. I would need a little bit more, name whatever quality. And what happens is, when your attention starts focusing on that quality, rather than resisting the dark night, then the process is speeded up. One of my favorite statements is, pain pushes until the vision pulls. So life is progressive, and it's pushing you until you get pulled by a larger vision. So once you have a vision that you can articulate, and that's a principle, potential is always bigger than the problem. Potential is always bigger than the problem. Your potential is infinite and is always bigger than whatever problem you're going through. A vision about the possibility, you start to be pulled by it, and then once you really sincerely embrace it,
Yeah.
and your life begins to be, okay, when I wake up this morning, I'm going to walk in the direction of my purpose. I'm going to walk in the direction of my vision. Understanding that pain pushes until vision pulls. Ask what if questions.
Yes.
Begin to see, visualize the kind of life you want to live.
Mm-hmm.
Begin to talk about it. Begin to write it down. Begin to dream about it. And then what I teach is you talk about it. Doesn't mean you talk to everybody because everyone is not trustworthy.
That's right.
You talk to selected friends
About it.
You talk to it. You actually talk to the vision, talk to the possibility, talk to love, you talk to peace, you talk to prosperity. I see you everywhere. I see you prosperity in the lawn. I see you abundance in the grain of the sand. I see you everywhere. You talk to it, and then after a while, you're talking from it. We are vibrational beings. You know, we're not just flesh and blood. You know, if you put anything under a microscope, an intense microscope, you're going to ultimately see that everything is vibration. And as the scientists are not telling us, there's information there, but it's not solid. It's always moving. So we're vibrational beings. When we lift our vibration to what we want to experience, it happens first on a vibratory level, and then it shows up and manifests in our life. So people who are holding on to rancor, animosity, another way of saying is you cannot have what you're not willing to become vibrationally. If you do get it, you'll lose it. This is why people, they'll win the lottery, they lose everything, or they'll finally get the person they think they want to be with. They can't keep the relationship, or they'll get a modicum of success but can't hold on to it because inside they weren't vibrationally aligned. They really hadn't become it. So you can temporarily manipulate and get things, but to have it completely, you have to lift your vibration and become that in vibration. You're not really attracting things to you, you're really radiating. Yeah, you're radiating it from within out. It's like if I become the vibrational frequency of love, harmony, peace, you have to like yourself when you're by yourself.
Yeah.
You have to like yourself. I mean, when you're by yourself, you have to look at those thoughts, the beautiful thoughts, the crazy thoughts. You have to embrace yourself, you have to forgive yourself, you have to love yourself. And when you can fall in love with yourself and like yourself when you're by yourself, now you can be with others. But if you don't like yourself when you're by yourself, then you're pulling on others to make you happy. The purpose of human experience is that we're at a stage of our evolution where we can think about what we think about. We can actually think independent of a circumstance and choose. We can choose and let our soul unfold. And this is very important because either people are in reaction or they're in choice. Choice comes when you expand your awareness. Reaction is if you have limited awareness. So in other words, we both know this. You take somebody like His Holiness the Dalai Lama or Dr. King, who chose to love in the face of hate. Where many people would react in the face of hate, through prayer and meditation, they expanded their awareness and they could choose. So here in this human dimension, we learn to choose regardless of conditions. Now we're participating in our own unfoldment. I can actually choose to be better. Visualization, that's stage 2, that's manifestor level. That means I actually see the life that I want to live. I see it visually. I feel it. I have an emotional bond with it until it manifests. Visioning is different. Visioning says there's something within me that I can't see. It's beyond my imagination. I want that to come forward. It's the life force. It's my unique pattern. Okay. It's beyond societal fantasy. It's beyond parental fantasy. In other words, your mother may have had a dream about you and wanted you to be a doctor. The society wants you to act a certain way. But there's something that's been placed there by God. And when you go into the visioning process, you're actually opening yourself up to that which is unique to you to express. I realize that I am a place through which the infinite expresses.
Oh, this is good.
You see, I'm available. So we use words like surrender, yielding, allowing, letting.
Opening.
I'm available. I'm surrendered. Now what happens? We come into frequent encounters with the zone or the flow.
Yeah.
You know, when you used to get in the flow,
Yeah.
and you didn't plan something, and it's not a part of what you tried to do, but if something takes you over, that's stage 3. You're in a flow now. It's like, what happened? What did I say? How did that turn out so well? Because beyond your imagination, something took you over. And something is God, you know, something you visualize, you say what you want, you do your affirmations, you set your intentions. You have to do that. And as you become a master at that level, then you start to find yourself in a moment you think not. Well, something happened. Yeah. In a moment you think not, you become available, you become a channel for such beauty and greatness and love and giving and creativity. To limit the presence of God is to blaspheme the presence, you see. So you just feel connected. It's a connection.
Yeah.
And that's stage 4 is my life is the life of God because there's no other life outside of God. God is infinite.